Hi, everyone, and welcome to this webinar organized by UNIMI in partnership with the University of Milan. My name is Eleonora. Nice to meet you all. I'll be your host for today's event on behalf of WeUni and Doxity. I see here that you guys are already joining in. I'm sure there will be more students coming in, but we can officially start. First of all, I want to thank everyone for joining us and thank our panelists for being here with us today. As you can see, I'm definitely not alone here today. I am very delighted to be introducing you, Simona Visconti, Office Manager, Office of International Admissions and Credentials Evaluation. Welcome, Simona.
Welcome and good evening, everyone. It's nice to have many of you here today. Before I begin, I'd like to introduce myself. I am the head of International Admissions and Credentials Evaluation Office at the University of Milan. And what I'm going to do today in the next few minutes is present you briefly the University of Milan and the admission procedure for students holding a foreign qualification. So let me share my screen so that you can see my presentation.
Thank you, Simona. So we can start with your part, and then I'm going to introduce the other panelists as well.
Okay, do you see my screen?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. It's not showing. It's not receiving the presentation. Okay, now it works. Okay, Università degli Studi di Milano, also known as UNIMI or La Statale, is a multidisciplinary university founded in 1924 and located in northern Italy. As you can see in this slide, we have many faculties in different sectors, starting from political sciences, law and humanities, to pharmacy, medicine, veterinary medicine, science and technologies, and all other fields you see here. In the next slide, you see the list of all the courses offered in English. So as you can see, the didactic offer is really rich and various. In the next slide, we see also the courses of economics, law, and social sciences and humanities. Where you see BA in brackets, it means that it is a bachelor program. All other courses are master degree. Okay, now let's move to the entry requirements. We have to make a distinction between the entry requirements of bachelor programs and master programs. For bachelor programs, it is necessary to hold an high school diploma obtained after at least 12 years of education. In case you come from a country with a schooling inferior to 12 years, you have 3 ways to fix it. You can attend at least 1 year of university in your country, passing all the exams of the first year. Or you can attend a foundation course or also a post-secondary, obtain a post-secondary school diploma. For some countries, it is also necessary to pass an academic eligibility test. For example, the Gaokao in China, the Selectividad in Spain, the Vestibular ORNM in Brazil, and so on. In addition, some high school diplomas have also additional requirements. In particular, if you obtained your diploma in the UK, it's not necessary just to have the GCE, but you should have passed at least 3 subjects at A levels. Or if you have an high school diploma from US, you need to pass also 3 advanced placements with a mark from 3 to 5. On the contrary, for master programs, it is necessary to hold a bachelor degree issued by a higher institution that is legally recognized in your country. And this bachelor has to allow the access to the further level of education, so in this case, to the master degree. Here you have the process of admission to bachelor degrees. In March, the call for application of bachelor programs have already been published. The call contains all the information and steps about admission. So it's very important that you read it carefully because you will find all the necessary information there. The majority of bachelor requires an entrance exam or an evaluation in order to be admitted. This evaluation can be done online, in presence. It can be a self-evaluation test. It depends on the course. If the course has limited number of places, remember that there will be a ranking list. And once the ranking list has been issued, candidates can enroll into the course. Some rankings are released in June, others will be issued in September. In order to complete the enrollment, students are required to submit certification during the online enrollment about the high school diploma, but not just that. The full list is available on our website. I will show you later where. Remember that usually the deadline for submitting all the documents is the end of November. In case you are a visa applicant, remember that you are also required to register on Universitaly website and send the pre-application by the end of July. Once the university will approve your pre-application, then you can contact the Italian consulate or embassy to start the visa process. And if you are a visa seeker, remember also that if the course is held in Italian, you must submit a B2 Italian certificate or sit our Italian language test. On the contrary, if you are an EU candidate or equivalent, so it means if you are non-EU but already living in Italy, you don't need to submit any language certification unless requested by the degree program. For master, the admission process is this. So call for applications or admissions notice have been published in January. So admissions are already open, so you can already apply for master programs. Candidates can apply online using transcript of records and, if already graduated, also the degree certificates. And according to the course organization, you will need to sit an online test or an interview, or you will be simply assessed according to the documents you uploaded during the application. Remember also that nearly all the courses require an English certification at level B2 or C1, or in alternative, require students to sit a level entry test organized by our linguistic center. If admitted, then students can proceed collecting the required documents. And let me tell you that one of the most important documents is the CIMEA statement of comparability or verification. So I suggest you to apply for it as soon as possible, because in the coming weeks and months, the application will increase, so there will be a delay in the issuance, okay? And also in this case, if you are a visa applicant, remember to pre-apply in Universitaly, and once we approve your pre-enrollment, then you can contact the Italian consulate or embassy for the visa process. Practically what you have to do for the application. First of all, go on our website. Here you find a link. You can switch on the English version, then click on section Education. And according to the course you're interested in, you can select undergraduate programs or master degree programs. You will find a complete list of the courses offered by our university. You can use filter to select the faculty, the language of the course, and so on. And once you have selected the course, you will find more or less a page like this, where you find all the necessary information and the sections with the requirements, for the course, and the admissions and enrollment. And from there, you can present your application. This is the link where you find the most important information for international enrollment. In particular, remember, if you are a visa applicant, to have a look at the pre-enrollment and Italian language proficiency test sections, and on the online delivery of the documents section, because there you find the complete list of the documents needed. As per the deadlines, I cannot tell you specifically for each course the deadline, because especially for bachelor programs, they depends on the course, but you have to read carefully the call for application, where all the deadlines are explained, and where you can understand if you have to apply for one session or the other according to your situation. The same for master programs. Read carefully the call for application or admission notice, but the general rule for visa applicant is this. For open courses with just an evaluation of the entry requirements, the deadline is the end of April, whereas for courses with limited places, the deadline is the end of May 2025. Finally, let me tell you something about the welcome services. So once you arrive in Italy, you can refer to the International Welcome Desk, which provides information about the permit to stay application, accommodation, health insurance, organizes also events to students to meet one with the other, to start friendship, and to become acquainted with the UNIMI services. The International Welcome Desk team can be contacted using Teams or in person once you will be in Italy. Here you find a list of the addresses and of the account and the timetable. So thank you for your attention, and of course, feel free to write in the Q&A session every question.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Simona. As I see, many more students have joined us in the meantime. I will therefore introduce to all of you the upcoming panelists, so that you also have a clear idea of the agenda. After Simona's presentation, we will have now Alessandro Gandini, professor of the Masters in Public and Corporate Communication. We will have Chau, student of the Masters in Public and Corporate Communication, Luca Fantacci, professor of the Masters in Cultural, Intellectual, and Visual History, and Julia as student of the Master in Cultural, Intellectual, and Visual History. It's a real pleasure to have you all here. So today the speakers will provide all of you with insights into the admission process, as done also specifically by Simona. And we are also going to explore two innovative master's programs promoted by the University of Milan. First of all, the Masters in Public and Corporate Communication and the Masters in Cultural, Intellectual, and Visual History. You will also have the possibility to interact with our speakers and ask them questions. So in relation to that, I would like to remind you that at the end of the presentation, we will have a Q&A session where you will be able to ask direct questions to all the panelists that we have today. So absolutely don't be shy, and just type all of your questions in the Q&A section here. So that we will go through them at the end of the webinar. For those of you who are interested in receiving a certificate of attendance by UNIMI for this webinar, also stay tuned, because we will be posting the link to get the certificate at the end of the session. So I think we can continue with our agenda while welcoming those who have just joined us in the meantime. I will now leave the floor to Alessandro.
Yes, so good evening, and thank you very much for being here. And I'm very grateful that I can introduce the MA in Public and Corporate Communication at the University of Milan. I will now move on to share my screen. Hopefully, this is going to be visible.
Thank you, Alessandro. We can actually see it very well.
No, one second, because it says again that we have an issue with Teams. It should be visible now.
Yes.
Great.
It is.
So the master's degree in public and corporate communication has a decades-long history, of course, with at the center of the program is the idea that Milan is one of those major cities where communication and the corporate world play a significant role in relation to the economy of the city. In the last few years, of course, we have made an effort to improve our didactic offer in relation to digital communication, which is, of course, a key aspect in present-day communication activities at all levels, globally and also, of course, locally. So today, the Masters is a point of reference for the training offering the communication job market in Milan, in Italy in general. And it represents an internationally oriented master's degree course with a specific focus on digital communication and the related professional sectors and practices, including public relations, digital marketing, advertising, social and market research. The program is organized across 3 main curricula, which I will now outline very briefly, but hopefully with some degree of clarity. And it is characterized, let's say, distinguishedly by a balanced mix of theory and practice. So a composition of teaching activities that combines theoretical content grounded mainly in the sociology of communication with practical activities oriented to provide students with key skills also in the undertaking of communication work. So again, as just an introduction to the learning objectives of the course that the course is set to achieve, to be able to provide students with enough competencies to access a variety of specializations in the fields of communication, public relations, advertising, and digital media in particular, looking in particular at the corporate world, national and international companies, but also to public, social, and political institutions and organizations, which of course place communication at the center of their activity. So to do so, we offer a solid preparation in a number of areas, beginning with the corporate setting, but also digital media and technologies. And more recently, we integrated a set of activities in relation to the critical study of data, algorithms, and artificial intelligence, and the way in which these are applied in business, society, and politics. So our graduates, we call the course sort of friendly COM as a sort of diminutive. Our COM graduates acquire skills, advanced skills for managerial and organizational roles in the sectors that you see and listed here, and that I have already mentioned, providing them with the skills that are necessary to undertake editorial and management activities in the media, digital communication sector, and the capacity to plan, implement, and manage public, social, and institutional, corporate and political communication campaigns, as well as to have the necessary skills to engage in data analysis, which is a key skill virtually in any business today, but especially, of course, in the context of digital communication. As I mentioned, we have 3 curricula that essentially allow students to tailor their choices in relation to the specialization with which they want to graduate. A first one is in Italian, that is called Comunicazione and Marketing, which is mainly in Italian. There are some courses in English. And the ones that I guess are more interesting here are Corporate Communication, which is the sort of longer established curricula since 2013, that is entirely taught in English, and the new one, which has just been introduced for the current call for applications, so it will start in the next academic year, which is called Digital Media, Data and Society, which again is taught entirely in English. Comunicazione Marketing, I will go quite quickly on this, offers a composition of courses you can see here from the fields of communication, sociology of consumption, advertising, cross-media communication, and finishing with business and corporate communication and datafied society. The corporate communication curriculum entails a combination of different courses focused on the role of communication in the corporate world. We have a new course in visual communication that is increasingly important, especially in the social media world. We have a course that has changed name but has been existing for a while. Incidentally, it's my own course that is called Social Media and Platform Cultures, which is designed to provide students with the necessary skills to address communication in the social media and platform setting. And of course, you can see a variety of different other classes in relation to, again, data analysis, consumer culture, and web communication, finishing in the second year with corporate communication. A key aspect of our didactic offer is that a lot of the teaching is done in year one of the masters. This allows students to develop different types of other activities, including laboratory activities, which are more hands-on and in smaller groups throughout the second year, where only the first trimester is considered as a teaching trimester. Lastly, the Digital Media, Data and Society curriculum, which, as I said, has been launched for this current academic call for applications, wants to give students essential skills in data analysis and their application in the context of digital communication and more widely in market and social research. So you can see the provision here, which extends from public opinion research to coding, and its application in the computational, in relation to computational methods in the social sciences, but also, again, AI and data, global societies, and the different aspects that address this particularly significant societal transformation brought about by digital technology. I mentioned trimesters because our teaching is organized in 3 trimesters. So from September to December is the first trimester. The second one is from January to March, and the third one is from April to June. It consists of both 60-hour and 40-hour courses, which are held over 3 days a week for at least 10 weeks. And of course, each trimester is designed to be balanced in the context of the teaching load. So on average, each trimester asks you to attend 3 classes. So 3 courses, actually, for each of those will be 6 hours if you are in a 60-hour course, or 4 hours if you are in a 40-hour course for the course of 10 weeks. And then again, after you graduate, you will have the opportunity to join the job market and aspire to high-profile positions in press offices, public relations, institutional and corporate communication, and different types of organizations involved in the communications world, as well as in marketing, digital advertising and fashion, branding, and the wide range of digital communication professions and occupations. And of course, the Digital Media, Data and Society curriculum adds to this particular mix the possibility to develop skills and therefore undertake a career in data management, data analysis, market, and social research. Just to give you a few stats, 10% of our students have obtained a degree from a foreign university. That's quite a significant stats for us, because the Italian average for these particular courses is 5%. So it means that we have a widely international studentship that you will be able to join if you decide to apply and ultimately succeed in getting a place in the course. 70% of our graduates, and this has been steady for the last few years, are employed 1 year after graduation, which is higher than regional and national benchmarks for the same communication courses in the country. As I mentioned, a distinguishing feature of our didactic offer is the possibility to undertake professional laboratories, which are offered in a variety of subjects, which are really designed to provide you with hands-on experience, which relates also to work, many of them are taught by external contract professors that belong to the industry and that allow you to develop relations with them and therefore build your own network. Then, of course, we had some important Erasmus opportunities and thesis abroad opportunities, which I will explain in a second. The teaching is organized, as I mentioned, in a unique mix of theory and practice. And another distinguishing feature for us is that many of us professors who join from sectors such as sociology, business and economics, and law are strongly embedded in an international community, and many of us, including myself, have teaching experience in foreign universities. So this means that we are very well aware of what it means to study and work in a foreign country. And we try to, of course, relate this to the students that come from all over the world and join our classes. The different laboratories that we offer are especially designed to provide innovative skills in digital communication. We have recently opened influencer marketing, open innovation and AI for business laboratories, which are really cutting edge in relation to the newest technologies that have been that have accessed the market. And we have a strong set of ties with several companies. Many of our courses, especially, of course, in the communication and marketing and corporate communication curricula, facilitate direct contact with the corporate world. This is an exhaustive list of the laboratories that we have on offer every year. And of course, it's constantly added. So you can look at the course website for an updated version of this list. We send regularly students to Erasmus destinations. We have 25 destinations and Erasmus agreements in 10 EU countries. We can see a sort of a brief breakdown of the most popular ones. And we send students regularly to compete with other students from the University of Milan to this call, which allows to receive a scholarship aimed at spending part of their master's thesis work at a foreign academic and research institution. It's called the Thesis Abroad program, and regularly a couple of our students every year take part in the call and go to places, as you can see here, that range from Dublin to Amsterdam up to, more recently, Sao Paulo in Brazil, and spend up to 3 months in doing some part of their thesis work in a foreign university. I'm stopping here, and of course, I'm open to receive any questions or requests of clarification. This is a breakdown of the key dates. So for visa applicants, applications are open until the 29th of May, and the evaluation proceeds with the establishment of a committee that assesses for each student the BA final score and the academic curriculum, and produces a ranking that is published in mid-June. And then enrollment follows on, also joining with the broader procedures of the University of Milan and its admissions offices that Simona Visconti has enlisted before. For EU citizens and or equivalent, as I said before, so visa holders who are already in Italy, applications are open until the 25th of August. There is an admission test held online on the 2nd of September, which produces again a ranking that is published a few days later, and of course allows enrollment in the week that follows. All the information and the details about this are provided on the on the official call for application, which is on the course website. Just to give you a breakdown very briefly, the admission tests is on subjects that include communication theory, computer science, marketing, statistics, and current affairs. And it lasts 60 minutes, assigning each correct answer 1 point and 0 points for no answer or incorrect answers. And we have, as mentioned before as well, we have a mandatory requirement to demonstrate proficiency in the English language, which we assess by requesting all our students who are admitted to the course to provide a certification with of English proficiency of a level that is equivalent or higher than B2, that is verified by the University Language Center called SLAM during the admission phase. And that's it. Here are some contacts. So I look forward to hearing from you here and potentially also beyond the space and time of this webinar. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alessandro. It was a real delight to hear your presentation. And now we have Chau, our student of the Masters in Public and Corporate Communication at the University of Milan. Chau, I'll leave you the floor.
Yes, thank you so much, Eleonora, and thank you so much, Professor Gandini, for sharing about our program. Yes. So my name is Chau. I'm Chau Nguyen. I'm a student from Vietnam, a Southeast Asia country, and I'm currently in the 2.5 years of my corporate communication master program in the University of Milan. Yes. And today I'm very honored to be here to share with you guys about my journey in UNIMI and also my journey studying comms in Milan. I will proceed to share some of my image over here. Please tell me if you guys can see it. Can everyone see some of the image? Yes. Nice. So I first found out about this program through a friend of mine who was actually an alumni of UNIMI. So she spoke very highly of both the university and the program. And I still remember she was video calling me around 2022 during the Milan Design Week. Around this time of the year, and she showed me that the main campus of UNIMI was actually used to store a lot of installations from the designers and brands of Italy, and it was very captivating for me to see a very inspiring setting like this. And I also like to study in Milan, well, which is also a hub of culture and creativity. I think it's gonna be a very enriching experience. Also, I applied to another country as well, but one of the main reasons I chose this program and also UNIMI was because the school has a very appealing scholarship opportunity. And one of them was the one I applied for, which is the DSU Regional Scholarship, which cover like almost all of my tuition fee, provide like some around 6,000 something euro for living expense per year, and also it includes free meal tickets for like 2 meals a day at the university canteen or a lot of other partners restaurants all over Milan. Yes, and additionally, I was also very fortunate to secure a spot in Apato, which is one of the university's newest student resident. Yeah, and the building is very modern, well equipped, and also located in the middle of Milan. Yes, I highly recommend the program that also Professor Gandini have just shared with you, the corporate communication, because I feel like the program is a very great balance between theory and practice. Before coming to Italy, I have heard that the educational system here tends to be a little bit more theoretical. But I was happy that I didn't let that stop me from applying, because when I actually study here, I found out that the program offers a very fantastic mix. So while some courses like behavioral sociology or consumer culture focus more on the theoretical side, and discussion and also open-ended exam. There are so many other hand-on classes, like the one in digital culture and communicational research, which I believe Professor Gandini has trained to the social media and platform cultures, right? And we also have public opinion research, data analysis, marketing advance, and web communication. And in all of those classes, we work on many real-life projects. We work on research interview and we even did some podcasts. Yeah. So the approach to studying was actually really practical and hands-on for me. Yeah. And also another highlight was that I even got one of my mini research paper published in our data analysis class, which is very nice and very fortunate for me too. Yeah. The student, like the social environment in UNIMI is also pretty nice, like very welcoming. One thing I noticed was that everyone was very outgoing and expressive, and the international student in UNIMI also is a lot more confident, and people are always open to share their perspective. And the best part is that I feel like every ideas and every like opinion is equally respected. Yeah. And that's not everything. As Professor Andini has shared, we also have a lot of exchange opportunity. For example, for me, I was accepted into the Erasmus studying program, and I spent around 6 months in an exchange course at the University of Copenhagen in Denmark. It was very unforgettable for me because the setting, Denmark and a lot of other Nordic country was very different from Milan. And the weather was colder, the social atmosphere was different. So this exchange was both a challenge, but also a learning opportunity for me. I took courses in business and finance, which helped me to kind of expand my knowledge beyond communication. Yeah. And it was also my very first time like visiting a Nordic country. So it was a very nice experience. Yes. And back to a little bit to our Milano student life. I love it like 2000% because Milan is a very diverse and dynamic city, and I've been very lucky to make friends with people from all around the world. Our closest friend group include people from Vietnam, my home country, Japan, Italy, of course, Brazil, Russia, like almost every country. Yeah. And we truly just embrace the global citizen spirit, I believe. And we are always on the hunt for the best aperitivo and Asian food in Milan. We also enjoy like a lot of supermarket dates. We cook meal together and explore Italy's cultural scene as well. We got the new like Milan museum pass, and we try to make it a mission to visit as many museums as possible when we were here. And I even go on a lot of like trip to multiple other European country with my new friends in UNIMI, and they are all very unforgettable memories for me. Yeah. So once again, I just want to share that my experience at UNIMI has been pretty incredible. I originally came because I want to study a master degree so that it could support my home like working career at home in my home country Vietnam. But I feel like I ended up gaining so much more, like from making friends across the globe to like securing the funding to study abroad in another country in the Nordic side, and also gain a lot of knowledge in communication in UNIMI in a very practical and interesting way. Yeah. So UNIMI provides so many opportunities for me, and I believe that if you guys really take advantage of them, I'm confident that you will also have a very nice time in your study abroad experience. Yeah. So that was my journey in UNIMI and in Milan. I hope that it somehow motivated you guys a bit to apply for our program over here. Yes, thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much, Chao. That was such a great experience that you were able to share with all of us. Thank you.
Yes.
We know that you are currently writing your thesis, right? And if we're wondering what is the topic of your thesis?
Yes, so I'm currently finalizing my thesis. I'm writing a thesis on child influencer marketing in Vietnam, my home country, and specifically about how it impacts brand communication. My supervisor is also Professor Gandini, yes. And after studying at UNIMI and taking courses like digital society, digital culture, and communication research, I also try to approach that topic in a more social and analytical way. Yeah.
Fantastic. And what would you like to do after graduation? What are your future career plans?
Yeah. So of course, like I think like a lot of other like close to graduate student, I'm looking forward to gain more professional experience in Milan. I actually already started applying for jobs, and I'm currently working part-time as an assistant supporting communication and also business development for a Milan-based design studio, which also has a market in Vietnam. Yeah. So it has been a very great learning opportunity, and I hope that I could continue to explore more branding and communication roles in a more international setting here in Milan. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yes.
That's wonderful. Congratulations and all the best wishes for your future endeavors. Ciao.
Yes, thank you so much. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And now I'll pass the floor to Luca Fantacci for his presentation.
Thank you, Eleonora. Let me also start by thanking the organizers and all the participants in this very interesting online event. I will share my slides. There we go. Is that working?
Yes, that works very well. We can see it full screen.
Thank you, Leonora. So you can also see that, unlike my colleague Alessandro, I am not a man of communication. So my presentation, I apologize in advance, is very austere, coming from a historian. But I'll do my best to give you all the relevant information to present this brand new master's program in cultural, intellectual, and visual history. It is at its first year now, so it was just inaugurated in this present academic year. Let me give you a snapshot of the main distinctive features of this program. Of course, it's a program in history, but with a particular bend, which is evoked in the title. It has to do with the cultural history perspective, meaning that it deals essentially with the beliefs, the behaviors, the institutions, the material and visual objects that throughout different ages and in different places help to shape life in common. And so it deals essentially with the attempt throughout ages to face this need to define different identities of gender, religion, nationhood, and class. And this tells you that the decision to offer this course in English, in this case, is not incidental. We decided that to teach this topic, it was essential to open up the university to an international target, to an international audience. And I must say that this first year has been very successful in this respect. We received last year 140 applications from over 40 countries. And the students enrolled in this program at the moment are only for 1/3 Italian, which means that the majority are students coming from all over the world, from the Europe, Africa, to East Asia. The other distinctive feature compared to similar programs, there are a few around Europe, is that it is a 2-year full-time program with the first year taught entirely in presence and the second year instead remotely online. This is, of course, intended to facilitate the participation for people coming from abroad and to allow in the second year, which typically involves less participation in presence, the possibility of having internships and other experiences in different countries. But I'll get back to this later on. It is also of the essence of the topics we are teaching to have an interdisciplinary approach. So, of course, a lot of the topics we teach belong to humanities and more specifically to history. But of course, we also draw from social sciences more broadly, from philosophy and more specifically aesthetics to approach the visual sources. And there is a prominent role also for computer sciences since we give great importance to this growing field of what are called digital humanities, which means the use of digital technologies not only as an instrument of research for humanities, but also as a means for increasingly for communication and the dissemination. This also involves introducing innovative teaching methods. So I will tell you more about that later on. And of course, practical teaching that goes through the internship and through the final work of the program. Now, a few words to explain why we came up with this proposal at this very moment. I don't need to spend many words on this. This is essentially a course that studies throughout history the relationship between reality and its representation. And this of course, is very relevant in an age like ours, which is characterized by a high degree of uncertainty, change, to a certain extent, crisis in many respects, deglobalization, relocalization, the redefinition of identities, and friction at the borders in the form of trade wars, as we are discussing in these very days, and outright conflicts. And in this, a growing mobilization of the visual and through the visual of consensus and of the ability to identify oneself. And in this, there's also the rise of new technologies that question the relationship between reality and representation. I'm referring here to virtual reality, augmented reality, and artificial intelligence. And of course, to a certain extent, these are all new phenomena, but they all are preceded throughout history by similar challenges that we have had to face. And this is why history becomes relevant not only at the individual level, but within both public and private institutions to face these challenges today and find some resources to address these issues. The second point, why study in Milan? It was already evoked by Alessandro and beautifully explained by Chau in her testimony that Milano is, as its name suggests, I know many of you might know that the name comes from the Latin word Mediolano, which means that Milano is at the crossroads of cultural and political and economic connections. And ever since it was in the time one of the capitals of the Roman Empire, it became a very important seat of economic, financial, and productive power, but at the same time, a very important cultural center for the production of visual representations. At the moment when I speak, our campus is being filled with installations precisely for one of those events that Chau mentioned before, the Design Week that will be inaugurated next week. Hence, the second point, why study at La Statale? As was mentioned at the beginning of this presentation, La Statale is a public university, and this is very important because it tells you that it cherishes culture and knowledge not as an instrument to gain access to particular professions, but as a form in itself of common good that is cultivated by teachers and students alike. And I think this reflects, I have a long experience in a business school, and I can tell you it's very different, the quality of human relationships that you have here among the colleagues and with the students given by this character of a public school. The last point, the course is offered by our history department, which is, it was awarded last year by the Ministry of Education and University, the Excellence Prize, precisely for a project in visual history, and we set up a research center specifically dedicated to these topics. And the colleagues here, more than 50, offer a very broad span of competences from antique history to contemporary history. Now let's take a brief look at the curriculum. I won't go into the details of this, of course. You can see many courses in history and more specifically cultural history, but already in the first year you see that we have a compulsory course indeed in computational methods, which is delivered by a new colleague of ours. We just hired her for this course, and she's an expert in artificial intelligence and more generally digital humanities. And we also have a workshop on iconology and iconography, which introduces already the aesthetics and philosophy I was referring to before. This first year, I remind you, is in presence on our campus in the middle of downtown Milano in a very beautiful, I don't think anyone mentioned this yet, it is a Renaissance building, originally the hospital of the city of Milan. So it's a very beautiful place to stay, and it's a pity not to be here for the second year as well. But what we have to offer for the second year is, of course, remote teaching with cutting-edge technologies. And in this snapshot here, you can see a virtual campus that was developed by our colleagues of the philosophy department for a special project financed by the European Union. It is a 3D replica of our cloister where you can actually meet and interact through avatars. And this will be used in the second year to create some opportunities to engage apart from the classes that are delivered online. And the classes even here span a variety of courses that have to do, again, with history, with aesthetics. You can choose an elective course from any class throughout the entire university, and you have the opportunity to have an internship. We set up a steering committee with a variety of different institutions where you can have an internship. And again, the final examination, unlike what is customary in Italian universities, is not necessarily a written thesis, but can take the shape of a multimedia project, an exhibition, or different forms of outputs, depending on, of course, the topic that you select to pursue. Just a brief word about the innovative teaching methods. Of course, especially this year, we are starting to experiment with flipped classrooms, work groups, role-playing, the production of multimedia content as an output for the classes. All of these are aimed at fostering an active and participative role of students and the practicing of very practical skills and soft skills like teamwork and so on, apart from the specific tools that are required for what I'm talking about now, the job opportunities that you are looking forward to. So here we have very traditional outlets for historical studies in museums, archives, and other cultural institutions. But there is a growing demand for the production of historical content for a variety of different contexts, ranging from school texts to television programs, multimedia productions of various sorts. And this is one of the possible job opportunities we aim at. The other growing field has to do with corporate heritage, not just public institutions, but increasingly also private businesses cherish their own history and view their own history not just as something to preserve, but a source from which to draw continuous inspiration to redefine their communication strategies and more generally their production strategies. So even here we see ample job opportunities. And of course, another more traditional possibility is to join research and cultural institutions. To conclude, just a few words on the admissions criteria. We expect the students to apply coming from, let's say, broadly a background in humanities, very broadly defined, especially for students that are not coming from Italy and that do not have very strict correspondence with our graduation classes that are listed here. We expect you also to have earned a number of credits, more specifically in history and related disciplines, again, ranging from aesthetics, as you can see here, to cinema, photography, sociology, literature, and so on. And the admission is assessed by an evaluation committee that goes through the titles. It requires a B2 level in English, certified with a valid certificate, and especially for students coming from abroad, you may be invited to an interview. Let me just conclude reminding you that the deadline for students coming from outside Europe is 30 April in this case. So it's approaching very close. We already have over 100 applications coming just from outside Europe, and we expect to have many more from Europe and Italy. The applications within Europe are open until, for students who do not need a visa, are open until January 15 of 2026 in this year. Let me conclude here and thank you once again for your attention.
Thank you very much, Luca. Your words were absolutely inspiring. Thank you so much. And now I'll leave the floor to Julia. I believe as a student of the Masters in Cultural and Intellectual Visual History, you will bring us your experience now.
Yes, of course. Thank you so much for this opportunity to listen of this presentation and to share my experience in the University of Milan. I didn't prepare none of the presentation because I study history and I'm so sorry. I can tell you the story only by my voice. So I started to study in Milan already 3 years ago, and I did my second bachelor degree in the Politecnico di Milano in the architecture. My first one was the cultural history, something really similar to cultural history, which I did before. And when I thought to do the master degree, I understood that the architecture for me is not the case because I like history much more than the drawing the buildings, and I solved to come back to the field from which I'm started to study, and I was lucky to be accepted in this program. From the first day, as Professor Luca Fantacci already noticed, I was surprised by the first building which I saw, because this is incredible. You're in the one of the oldest, like you're in the oldest public hospital in the Europe. This is an amazing place to be. It's the beautiful how how the sun there works, and that you are going inside and you feel yourself really a part of the history already entering there. And then I met straight really good people with which I could share this passion to the history and this love to the culture in general, because it's the particular feeling, like even studying the architecture, I met a lot of the intelligent people, but mostly they were more practical. And here I had an opportunity to meet the really intellectual, nice and sweet people, and thanks to our program, it's give the possibility to talk with each other, not only about what you did, how you are, but on the more deep themes which are bothers everybody. And this is beautiful when you can practically find the questions to find the answers to the questions which bothers everyone. And for me, the UNIMI became like from the first days when I came there, and till now, it's become a really cozy place to be, and I feel myself where I'm supposed to be. And I'm really happy about this program. The student life in Milan, and Milan in general, is the beautiful city to study culture, because it's a really good cultured city. Here are the beautiful museums and the beautiful exhibitions. Besides the Brera, which know everybody, we have also Pinacoteca Ambrosiana, which is an amazing place where you can see the beautiful stuff. And in the Milan, there are also a lot of other smaller museums where you can go and visit infinitely, and the beautiful exhibitions. For example, Palazzo Reale is bringing the main artists from all around the world every season, which is absolutely incredible to see all of this beauty in beauty, because Milan is beautiful and the places which you are visiting are always beautiful. And the city itself is really nice and really interesting. You're always finding something new and unexpected. You can find all the architectural styles, all the possible times, and this is incredible. Like this diversity is making you feel really good if you're interested of study the cultures, of course, because this is our theme. Yeah, I think yes, and Italy is the beautiful place to be in general. There are beautiful food and really nice people, and I think is the really big thing in comparison with many other places, that the people here are really, really welcoming, and they are really nice to you. No difference from which background you came. If you are intelligent, if you are a nice person, you will be noticed and you will be in your place. And the Italians in general are really warm people. So I think that's it.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Julia, for sharing your experience. I was wondering, we know that you have a very particular passion and that you also work on during your spare time, right?
Right. I'm preparing now the exhibition, which will be in the May. It's the exhibition about the surveillance, and I asked to come more than 20 artists, and I spoke with the two stages to make this exhibition. We will see how it will went, but I hope for the best. There are some professors from Statali who is also participating, but from the other courses of the digital of the artificial intelligence and digital technologies. Yes, and like we are doing a big cultural and art program, which can be mix of everything. And I also working with some art galleries here with the little things, not really big. And I'm also working in the night clubs in the Milan doing the lights. So like my work life here is quite diverse, I would say.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing with you also this part of your experience. So I believe we've heard all the panelists for today. So now it's time for questions. I know that we're a little bit over time. So I invite you all to write all your questions. I see that many of the questions have been answered already during the presentation. So thank you very much, Marta and Simona, for this support while the presentation was running. But of course, for all our students connected from all over the world, feel free to share with us your questions in the Q&A section, and we will be with you right away. We wait a couple more minutes. While we have the last questions coming in, I was just wondering if any of the panelists would like to add anything or share with us any other aspect.
Maybe, if you allow me, Eleonora, just briefly, I mentioned that the second year of our program is online. I did not mention that we do envisage to have a couple of days in presence also in the second year in Milan, precisely to take advantage of everything that was described by Julia. So we will organize for that occasion cultural visits, not only in the cultural institutions of Milano, but also in other institutions more specifically related to the job opportunities that we intend to offer. So this is a way to keep the community close, even when we are not physically close and in the same city.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Luca. Is there anyone else who would like to add anything before we wrap up with perhaps some final questions that will arrive?
I have just written in the chat how to contact us. Okay, so there you can find the link mainly to the Informa Studenti service and all the information on how to call us, the front offices, locations, and opening hours. So here you can find how to contact us. Okay, for any doubt related to the admission procedure or the requirements from an administrative point of view, here you have the link.
Thank you so much, Simona. So I see that perhaps there is one last question that arrived. What percentage of graduates secure jobs in Italy or internationally within 6 months of graduation? A little bit of focus on not only career opportunities, but actual placement, if possible.
Great, not for our program, since we are just in the first year, so we don't have data concerning that yet. So I will turn that question to the colleague, Alessandro.
Yeah, as I mentioned before, for our program, we have a sort of steady statistics of 70% of our graduates who obtain jobs after 1 year. That's the statistics we have at the moment. And of course, many of them actually do that already in the first 6 months after graduation, as it typically happens with many. And I'm glad that it was mentioned also by Luca with regards to internships and also the students that we have here. Of course, that is a very important vehicle for us to take students into the job market, and many of them then stay in the internship opportunities that they find. And so continue working for them.
Fantastic. A wonderful first step in the career world. I see, Marta, do you have, I see that you raised your hand, so.
Yes, let me add just one thing about internship and traineeships, because I'm part of the International Mobility and Promotion Office. So for what concerns mobility, we do offer Erasmus traineeship abroad. So I've met a girl from COM, the master's program of Professor Gandini, who actually did a traineeship in Lisbon in the field of digital marketing. So I think it's very interesting. We offer many mobility opportunities abroad, both for study, traineeships, and also for thesis research, as was mentioned before by the professors. That's what I wanted to say.
Fantastic. That's very interesting. It's a real case of success.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I don't know if there are any more questions. I see someone has asked about the link of the certificate. We have another question that just arrived. What bachelor's degree percentage is required for scholarship secure from your university? I think if there is like a grade, a mandatory or a necessary GPA in order to be able to access your scholarship. I don't know if there is anyone who wants to. Yes, Marta.
Yes, actually, it was the the question
okay.
before.
Okay.
We have several scholarship opportunities that are based on financial need and on merit criteria, and the criteria are established every year in the call for application. So I invite all the students to consult the call for application. That for what concerns DSU scholarships that are based on financial and merit criteria, the call is usually published in July, so they can check all the requirements there. Yes, and we also offer excellence scholarships for that are dedicated exclusively for the best international students admitted to our master's degree programs. They worth €8,000, or students can be offered exemption from tuition fees, the all-inclusive tuition fees. There will be a ranking list based on merit, so on the marks obtained in the previous bachelor's degree. And once again, I invite the students to check all the requirements on our website. I've sent many links in the chat related to our financial support.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Marta, for all these important.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Okay, so I think well, first of all, I would like to thank all our guests for the interesting conversation and presentation. I also would like to thank everyone who has joined us and also for all your questions that have arrived, very numerous to us. So you've already received the certificate of attendance by Uni in terms of link. You can just click on the link that has been shared on the chat, and we will be sending everything to you moving forward. Before we say goodbye, of course, if any of the panelists would like to just leave our participants with a message, just a very last round.
Looking forward to meeting you in Milano.
Yes, absolutely.
Same.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you very much to all of you for your participation. It's been absolutely great to hear all your testimonies and all your contributions. So thank you so much again. And at this point, thank you also to everyone who has connected from all over the world. And I hope to see you again in the next webinar organized by WeUni Doxity. Bye, everyone, at this point. Have a great day or a great evening based on your time zone. Thank you.
Thank you, Eleonora.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Everyone, good luck.
Take care.
Goodbye.
Bye.
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 Thank you.